Welcome to part 2 of us trying to win the Mice Chat Gumball Rally. It's time to pick up our third trivia book of the day and see how good we are at riding attractions and answering Disney trivia. We picked up our third book at 12:31 and it was time to figure out what weapon was used. Our first stop for book 3 was Monsters, Inc., and this was a good time to stand in line and strategize how we wanted to spend our time trying to get through all of the attractions and clues in this book. Book 3 came with some real pros and cons. On the con side, it was getting later in the day, lines were getting longer, and it was the last operating day for Red Car Trolley, so we knew the line for that was going to be incredibly long. On the pro side, though, as soon as we opened book 3, I was already able to answer the clue and confirm what the weapon was. This is because I'm a huge fan of the Red Car Trolley, and I knew that inside the Red Car Trolley was the Wig-Wag banner that we were looking for, so once we were off Monsters, Inc., we walked over to the Red Car Trolley to confirm I was right, and we were able to figure out the murder weapon within just a few minutes of getting book 3. But even though we had the answer to clue number 3, we still had to try to ride as many attractions as possible in this book, which was still hard because wait times were getting longer and longer as the day went on. Book 3 ended up being the book that we worked on for the longest, and even though we had this book for 3.5 hours, we were only able to complete 5 attractions and confirm the clue. By the time we were done with those 5 attractions, it was already 4 o'clock and we had less than 2 hours left before we had to turn in our final clue book. We grabbed book 4 and saw that there were 2 things that we could do in Avengers Campus, which was right next door to Hollywoodland, so we headed there first. To solve the clue in book 4, we had to disprove several different alibis that were given to us in the book. Plus, there were still lots of rides that we needed to ride in order to try to earn points. We decided to get in line for Web Slingers and try to create a strategy again. Web Slingers took forever to ride, but when we finally got off, we at least had a strategy, which was to start by checking Grizzly Peak first because there were 3 alibis to confirm in that area. This was definitely the right choice because the very first place that we checked in Grizzly Peak ended up being the location where the alibi did not match up and we found our murderer right away. At this point in the night, though, it was getting late and we knew that we only had time for maybe one more ride, so we picked Emotional Whirlwind, and that was the last thing that we did before we turned in book 4. In book 4, we were only able to complete 2 attractions, but we did also solve the clue. Overall, in under 10 hours, we rode 12 attractions, watched 3 shows, and went to more than 30 places in California Adventure to answer trivia questions and solve clues. And at the end of the day, it was all worth it because we did win 3rd place.